All right, and welcome back. In this video, we are going to be going through Chapter 8, Section 7, titled Applications of Right Triangle Trigonometry. And by the end of this video, we should be able to solve right triangle problems by correct selection and use of the tangent, sine, and cosine ratios. So please have out your guided notes. Let's begin. So what we have here is if a person on the ground looks up to the top of a building, the angle formed between the line of sight and the horizontal is called the angle of elevation, as depicted over on the right-hand side. So there's a person standing and looking up. Let me see if I can draw a person. Let's say there's a person down here, and the person is looking up at the top of the building. That's their line of sight, and the angle of elevation is the angle that they are looking up at. Now, if a person standing on the top of the building looks down at a car on the ground, the angle formed between the line of sight and the horizontal line is called the angle of depression. So if there is a person up here looking down at a car, I'm going to try to do a car. It's going that way, away from the person. Don't worry. If the person is on top looking down, we call that the angle of depression. Now, notice that the angle of elevation and the angle of depression are congruent. They are the same measures because the horizontal is going to be parallel to the ground. So we can have the angle of elevation and the angle of depression are going to be congruent. Many students make the error and they assume that this angle right here is going to be the angle of depression, but that is not the angle of depression. It's going to be the angle looking down on the outside of our building. So it's going to be this angle right here, which again is congruent to the angle of elevation. In example number 1, it says at a certain time, a post 6 feet tall casts a 3-foot shadow. What is the angle of elevation of the sun? So we're going to be looking up. So we want to try to find the value of x. Now, in order for us to do this, we can use a tangent ratio because we have our opposite and adjacent values of 6 and 3 respectively. So tan of x degree is going to be equal to 6 over 3, which is simplified down to 2. So x degree of the tangent function, or the tangent ratio, is going to be having value of 2, meaning that if we use a calculator or we use any tables provided, we're going to find that x is going to be approximately 63 degrees. And with this in mind, please work on problems 1 through 5 on the guided notes and resume when you're ready to move forward. In example number 2, a person in a lighthouse 22 meters above sea level sights a buoy in the water. If the angle of depression to the buoy is 25 degrees, how far from the base of the lighthouse is the buoy? Well, there's something that we can fill in here. If we know that the angle of depression is 25 degrees, this angle is going to be congruent to this angle. So angle PBL is also going to be 25 degrees, and we can use that to help us solve this problem. Now, there are 2 different ways that we can do this. So on the left-hand side, we're going to go through method 1. On the right-hand side will be method number 2. So for method number 1, we have the angle of PBL is equal to 25 degrees, and we now have the tangent of 25 is equal to 22 over x. X is the length right here, and we are given the height of 22. So to get x, we have to multiply both sides by x and then divide by tangent of 25. We end up with approximately 47.1799, or about 47. Method number 2 now, as I scroll on down through to reveal both of them, then we're going to say that the measure of angle BPL is 90 degrees, take away 25, so that's going to be 65 degrees. Let's fill that in real quick. So BPL right here is going to be 65 degrees. So now the tangent of 65 is equal to x over 22. Because it's our opposite over adjacent. So x over 22. To get x all by itself, we multiply both sides by 22 and find the tangent value of 65. And again, we're going to get approximately 47.1792. So that means the buoy is about 47 meters away. With this in mind, please work on problems 6 and 7 on the guided notes. Keep up the great work, kiddos. Keep making yourself proud. Let us know if you have any questions, and we will talk to you soon.